The moment everything started falling apart looked almost too ridiculous to be real. 4th and 1, borderline red zone. The kind of play that decides momentum, confidence, maybe even the entire direction of a game. And before the ball is even fully snapped, the Browns' offensive line already looks like it lost the argument. One blocker launches himself at absolutely nobody. Another collapses to the ground like he tripped over a ghost. Meanwhile, defenders are flying through untouched so fast it looks like they guessed the snap count from the parking lot. And right in the middle of the chaos is Shadur Sanders trying to survive. Not operate an offense, not run a system. Survive. That clip went viral because fans thought it was funny at first. But the more people watched Cleveland last season, the less funny it became. Because it wasn't just one broken play. It wasn't one bad Sunday. It became the entire identity of the Browns' offense. Week after week, Shadur looked like a quarterback trapped inside a collapsing building, while the people around him kept asking why he wasn't throwing better passes. And once fans started really digging into what happened behind the scenes, the story got way uglier than anybody expected. Because the biggest mystery wasn't why Shadur struggled at times. The real mystery was how a franchise with NFL money, NFL resources, and months to prepare somehow rolled out the worst protection unit in football, directly in front of a rookie quarterback they supposedly believed in. And the deeper people looked, the harder it became to ignore one uncomfortable possibility. Maybe Shadur Sanders never actually had a fair shot. The craziest part is that analysts warned people about this before the season even started. There were already concerns about Cleveland's offensive line depth, concerns about communication, concerns about aging veterans, concerns about injuries. But Browns fans were told everything would stabilize once the season started. It never did. Instead, things somehow got worse every single week. Defenders were arriving untouched off the edge. Interior pressure collapsed the pocket before routes could even develop. There were plays where Shadur barely hit the back of his drop before somebody was already grabbing at his jersey. At certain points, it honestly stopped looking like professional football. And what made the situation even stranger was how repetitive the breakdowns became. Normally, even bad offensive lines improve a little over time. Coaches adjust protections, players communicate better, the staff simplifies assignments. But with Cleveland, the exact same mistakes kept showing up over and over again. Free rushers, missed assignments, completely blown protections. The kind of stuff NFL teams are supposed to clean up in training camp. That's why some analysts started raising eyebrows halfway through the season. Because this didn't feel like random bad football anymore. It felt structural. It felt like nobody inside the building had a real solution. And while all of this was happening, the pressure somehow kept shifting back onto Shadur himself. Every bad throw became a headline. Every sack became his fault. Every loss became another television debate. Meanwhile, the offensive line was getting flattened on national television every single Sunday. That disconnect is where people started asking tougher questions. Because before the draft, plenty of scouts loved Shadur Sanders. They praised his accuracy, his toughness, his composure under pressure. Some evaluators even believed he was one of the safest quarterbacks in the entire class if he landed in the right situation. But the second Cleveland season turned into chaos. Those same conversations disappeared. Suddenly, all anybody wanted to talk about were the sacks, the turnovers, and the losses. And for certain people around football, that was actually convenient. Because think about it. If Shadur succeeded immediately after falling in the draft, a whole lot of organizations would have looked terrible. Scouts who doubted him would look wrong. Front offices that passed on him would get roasted. Media personalities who spent months criticizing him suddenly lose credibility overnight. That's the part nobody likes saying out loud. In the NFL, quarterbacks are not just players. They are investments, brands, talking points. Entire careers get attached to quarterback evaluations. And when a young quarterback struggles early, there are always people who quietly benefit from it. Now, does that mean there was some giant conspiracy against Shadur Sanders? No. That's not how professional sports usually work. The truth is messier than that. Sometimes it's just competing priorities. Coaches trying to save jobs, executives protecting reputations, analysts protecting takes, organizations trying to avoid admitting mistakes. And somewhere in the middle of all that chaos sits the rookie,